All right, man. My mic is on. You know what I'm saying? Of course, this is for the love. Got to make sure my shit is working. This is episode 53. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we here. We always coming. I always want to thank the people first and foremost for the support, the patience, etc. Because it takes time giving the content, you know what I'm saying? So I just appreciate the wait. Sorry for the wait, but of course we here. And it's been a bright weekend, man. Been a good Sunday. As we are currently recording, this is post Grammys. You know what I'm saying? Grammys was this past Sunday night, and not gonna lie, because we're just gonna kick it off with the Grammy recap, just to get that out of the way, because it's been a eventful night. You know what I'm saying? Not only did we have the Grammys on Sunday, but of course we had the sports events, basketball games, other sports, etc. But we had the 30 for 30 as well on a side note regarding the Baltimore Ravens in the 2000 Super Bowl run and the championship defense, which I would say as a Ravens fan is the greatest defense of all time. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But back to the Grammys. And of course, before I forget, and we start again, thanks to my supporters, you know what I'm saying? All DSPs, you know what I'm saying? Follow the channel on YouTube, all of that, you know what I'm saying? Subscribe, do what you do. Go outside, tell your best friend, tell your loved ones about For the Love, you know what I'm saying? You see behind me, we actually got the merch. We got the t-shirts, you know what I'm saying? And we got the hoodies, shout out to Super Clothing, shout out to Pat Super. Check the website. The shit is there, man. And if you local, hit me up, man. You know where I'm at. You really don't know where I'm at, but I'm out here. I'm outside. You get what I'm saying? So, nonetheless, like I said, Grammy weekend, it was actually a dope event. You know what I'm saying? Well, it was actually enjoyable to watch. It still had its moments that was like a Grammy moment, like certain artists that performed that was just like, what the fuck is that? It was a bunch of those, but overall it was dope. So not gonna run through the whole shit, because I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot of fucking content that y'all can realistically just YouTube. Besides YouTube and this, you know what I'm saying? Follow the channel and all of that. But we start off the Grammys with Bad Bunny, who is, to me, the world's biggest artist right now. Like, like in a sentence, like Bad Bunny is the biggest artist of artists, in my humble opinion. So not only that, but to show love to the Latin culture was dope. You know what I'm saying? Giving him the performance to start off the Grammys was fire. And being that he had all the nominees, he was a part of the album of the year conversation that we're gonna get into later. Seeing him open the Grammys, which is the highest platform for music and represent the culture and Latin culture, was dope. You know what I'm saying? Definitely thought about my cousins out there in Jersey that told me about son about years ago. I know they was getting lit to Bad Bunny when he was out there, so that was dope. Notable things. It was dope to see a lot of notable acts, more so on the hip hop side, be present at this award ceremony. Now, again, I understand that we as a black culture really don't and shouldn't give a fuck about the Grammys, but at the same time, it's the Grammys. It's the highest prestige of the industry. So it's just that. It's just going to be that. You know what I'm saying? So to see Jay there, Beyonce there, Kendrick's, the Khaled's, the Fat Joe's, the Busters, I can keep going on, Rakim's. We're going to get into the hip hop part later. Just to see all those greats and legends even present was just fire to me. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, Bad Bunny opened the Grammys. Then you get into, Lizzo's performance, which was dope. Not gonna lie, I'm gonna come clean. She definitely provided us like a Missy Elliott tribute performance, if you ask me, because all I saw was like glad bags on stage. and it was like it was elegant, but it was trash. You know what I'm saying? Literally, but like, and then another note, it was a lot of aluminum foil in the fucking building, but that was blowing my fucking mind because I was seeing mad niggas just wearing aluminum, and it was looking like cookout plates, and the shit was disturbing me. But Lizzo performed, you know what I'm saying, and then you get into the awards, and how they did it was they had previous winners from past award ceremonies present the award for this year. So like best hip hop album, they had Cardi B present that, being that she won back in 2019 with her first album, and she presented that album to Kendrick, which Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers won that, as it should have. People have their opinion. It's always subjective. That's the beauty of conversation and music and etc. But to me, Kendrick was the right winner. And going back to other awards, seeing Beyonce be present again, and not only be present but accept the award that made her the most decorated Grammy Award winner of all time was a powerful thing to see. You know what I'm saying? Now, me personally, that's the reason why Beyonce was there. You know what I'm saying? Not saying she has to be there, but like that was the reason why she was present, because if you're going to present me with some all record shit, I'm going to be there for that. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people thought Beyonce was performing, but I'm like, y'all really think she's about to perform when she's about to get ready for a whole tour? She ain't performing shit. You know what I'm saying? She's about to get her award, which is, and then, like I said, she's gonna sit back, enjoy herself, and support the fam and her husband. You get what I'm saying? Because, like I said, she's really telling y'all niggas that if y'all really want to see me perform, y'all gonna drop these racks and go to the Renaissance tour, because y'all definitely not getting no free national televised concert. Y'all gonna drop these bands. You understand? So that's what she's on. And again, continuing with the Grammys, you know what I'm saying? And the performances, they had the Motown tribute, shout out to Betty Gordy, legend, GOAT, etc. You know what I'm saying? And they had no other but the one and only Stevie Wonder, yet again, meaning that this is another year and another tribute that this man, aka God, is participating in. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm about fucking tired, because to this day I never seen a motherfucker give Stevie Wonder a tribute. It's like, I don't want niggas to wait until he's gone, God forbid, but I done seen Stevie Wonder give everybody in the fucking world a tribute. I think all tributes he was a part of. The motherfucker sung at Nipsey's funeral. Yet I ain't seen nobody sing a Stevie Wonder record while Stevie Wonder was in the crowd to witness that shit. That needs to change. Matter of fact, whoever network, because all the white people own that shit, they need to set a 2-hour event dedicated to Stevie Wonder. You know what I'm saying? Get some solid performers like Jasmine Sullivan and Raphael Sadiq, etc., and get them niggas to perform this legend. Cause I'm tired. You know what I'm saying? For the love, we tired. Stevie Wonder been tributing tributes. You get what I'm saying? Like, this nigga Stevie Wonder did a tribute for a fucking tribute at this point. I'm tired. But nonetheless, it was fire. You know what I'm saying? They honored the great Smokey Robinson as well, representing Motown. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm naming architects to this shit. You know what I'm saying? Fuck legends. I'm naming like the forefathers of this music shit. You know what I'm saying? For real, for real. And that was dope to see. And that was the best performance to me of the night, up until it got to what I was anticipating, which was the hip hop celebration segment. And that was celebrating 50 years. And again, I mean 50 years of hip hop, aka the culture, aka the reason why I'm doing this shit, aka why I breathe different, like just everything. This was what this was about. Now, they did what I felt they was going to do, and it's not a bad thing, but they had to cram 50 years into like damn near 5 to 10 minute segment performance, if not 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And even that was like doing it justice as far as like doing what they can do best, because you can't get every fucking thing in hip hop in like 10 to 15 minutes. So I give Grammys their props. They still ain't shit because y'all not showing full understanding of hip hop. We need to get to that part where it's a condemned, or excuse me, condemned is the wrong word, but it's like a defining win when it comes to hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And that's just with the awards. But as far as showing love and the tribute to hip hop, it was a fire segment, man. Like I seen Rakim at the fucking Grammys. You get what I'm saying? Like that alone was crazy. The only critique, or I wouldn't say critique, but the only thing I would have probably did was through Slick Rick in that motherfucker and have him perform Lottie Dottie in that bitch. Like imagine if Slick Rick would have walked on that fucking stage and then acapella for like a minute or like 4 bars would have had the whole crowd singing that shit. What? That would have been crazy, son. And then like, you know, Wu-Tang segment was dope, but it was only Meth. So it was kind of weird because it wasn't really Wu-Tang, it was Method Man. You know what I'm saying? They really should have just had Method Man perform Image THOD, man. You know what I'm saying? And that would have been more fitting. And like Scarface, another one, he was Dolo. He's a legend, but I would have loved to see the Ghetto Boys. And again, I know I'm throwing mad critiques, and that shit sounds like, damn, Los ain't fucking with it, but I really fuck with it. It's just speaking from a real fan of the shit, the things that I would have loved to been incorporated with. Even Jay-Z being on that segment would have been crazy, but I can understand him not being up there because him performing later. And that's pretty much segue me to that part, which is the in performance of the Grammys, which was DJ Khaled, Wayne Ross, and Friday performing God Did. And also John Legend as well was on the record. Fire performance, fire visuals, being at the supper table, whole performing that 8-hour verse. I don't give a fuck how long it was. It was God. It was a hymn because I'm him. You understand? And niggas don't understand about Sean Carter because this leads me to my conspiracy theory or my for the love theory, you know what I'm saying, about what Jay and how he approached this whole Grammy shit. And hear me out. So Jay-Z and Beyonce attends the Grammy Awards ceremony. They normally don't go every year, especially every year, but they tend to go at a point where it benefits them. And I don't knock them for that because, like I said, this is the event that Beyonce becomes the most Grammy Award winning, and Jay-Z so happens to perform at the Grammys. And it's during the 50-year hip hop anniversary. So I can understand Jay being present and Beyonce being present in support for him. And for her accomplishments was just historic. On top of that, you have the Grammys, which is in January, which is the beginning of the year. The following month, which is February, I apologize. This is fucking February. So we are in Black History Month, which I forgot to even acknowledge for this duration of the fucking episode, so my ancestors forgive me. But on Black History Month, we're going to set 2023 off by kicking it off at the Grammys, representing Rock Nation. My wife is here to receive the most Grammys of all time. I'm here to perform one of the best verses in the past year, 2022, even though Cole had the best verse, in my opinion. But I'm here to perform that for the first time at the Grammys. On top of that, in the next week or two, we have another representative from Rock Nation and from our umbrella, which is Rihanna Fenty, that's performing at the Super Bowl halftime show, which Jay has something to do with that. So what I'm saying that to say that all of this shit is Rock Nation. And I think Jay's taking these moments to set the tone that this year is really on some our year type of shit. And then the remaining of the year, guess who's going on tour? Beyonce, Renaissance Tour. She's about to run 2023. And then potentially Rihanna may go on fucking tour. If not this year, then the following year. So I'm saying all this to say that if this theory is true, then what Jay is doing is very strategic and is very gangster, because at the end of the day, it's Rock Nation and they running this shit. You know what I'm saying? But going back to the Grammys, or to summarize the Grammys, conclude the Grammys, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Those were the performances. Of course, they had performance in between that, like Stevie Lacy, shout out to him, you know what I'm saying, representing the Odd Future umbrella. And his performance was dope. I understand his attire. He looked like a 1987 WWF wrestler. You know what I'm saying? It was just kind of, you know, he looked like a wrestler mixed with an X-Men character. It was just wild. But I fuck with Lacey. His album is dope. And they had those other performers. I can't even name them to disrespect them, but it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? But and then when it came to the top awards, like Album of the Year, everybody wanted to see Beyonce win that. Me personally, I felt like Renaissance should have won that shit, but I always said it. And I told niggas the night of that Harry Styles is gonna win that shit, because it's the Grammy format, it's marketing, it's how they go about shit. Like, I seen Macklemore beat Kendrick, which to me is the most wildest shit that I would ever witness in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, wild. Like, that shit is wilder than DMX not being nominated in '98. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just that's just some system bullshit. But Macklemore beating Kendrick was crazy. So to go from that to see the Harry Styles win, it didn't surprise me. You know what I'm saying? I was even more surprised that Bad Bunny didn't win that shit. Because to me, Bad Bunny should have won. His album was that fire. And then Beyonce was the second, because her album was played from top down in clubs. And, bro, I never seen clubs play a whole fucking album. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just played the album and just let the shit rock. Like, if you was a DJ, you didn't even have to DJ, because you just hit play and just let that bitch rock. The transitions was fire. So Beyonce Renaissance should have really fucking won. And I'm not that big of a Beyonce fan. I'm not on the Beehive, but that's just facts. You know what I'm saying? It's just the facts. You know? But other than that, that was the Grammys. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing more Grammys than seeing performances that you like. Some that's like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Some artists you get, like, they sweep the category. So Beyonce swept R&B for the most part. Kendrick swept the rap category for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Future, Tim's, and Aubrey, because they definitely won a Grammy for the record that was popping. You know what I'm saying? There for You or something like that, but they won. Future has a Grammy, man. You know what I'm saying? That's just hard in itself. And you know what I'm saying? This rap shit. Now, the last thing I wanted to address about the Grammys, because I did speak on R&B that was interesting, was Chris Brown's reaction to him losing the best R&B album category to Robert Glasper. Now, shout out to Robert. And for people who do not know of this good brother, he is a jazz artist. I consider him jazz. He's actually multi-dimensional as far as genres and lanes and whatnot. But to me, I equivalent the shit to jazz, because his sound is very jazz-ish. You know what I'm saying? That's a fucking word. And to summarize, he deserved to fucking win. You know what I'm saying? It was a dope body of work. His album was fire, and he deserved it. Chris Brown came out in the internet world and wanted to speak and blast on Robert Glasper, more so saying, who the fuck is this person? And then later down, he apologized, but at the time, it was weird, because rather than shitting on the next man, especially our own skin, he could have just spoke on how he felt with the system, as far as them not being in the same genre, or him not seeing them in the same lane. He could have spoke on that, but he chose to disrespect a man, which was corny. I fuck with CB, fucking legend. I don't think his flowers is given enough, but that type of shit was lame. And even to see him apologize is telling, because he knew what he did was some bozo shit. But as humans and niggas, you're supposed to live and learn. So I hope you just take that and just try to go from there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna necessarily say I hope they collab, because me personally, I think that's even cornier to see them collab after that type of shit. Because it's like, if that's really how you felt, then just keep your distance. Like, we don't gotta dislike each other and shit, but we just gonna keep the love afar. You know what I'm saying? So other than that, man, CB is a dope artist. I just wish that the nigga just stopped putting energy on shit that's irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, CB, give us a 13-song album. If you listening right now, for the love, man, my eyes is on the camera. CB, the last 3 albums was fire, but they were playlists long. 30 songs is not going to do it, bro. Like, for an album, you have to give us at least a 13-song record. If you can go less than that, you can give us a 10-track jump, to be honest, because you gave us about 90 records in the past 2-3 years. So we appreciate it, but as far as albums and body of work, we need that 10-13 piece, man, or something less than that, just so we can get the top down and be like, oh, that's it, and then wanting more. That's the album right there, you know? But with that being said, of course, shout out to the Grammys, and also fuck the Grammys, you know what I mean? So that's just how we do that, because there's duality out here, you know what I'm saying? You know, and it is what it is. And the next thing we got, because I got to make sure, because the Grammys came up. Like I said, it's Black History Month. We on February, you know what I'm saying? We kicking it off with excellence, you know what I mean? Black skin. I just want niggas to moisturize themselves, put lotion on, sunscreen, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Drink with aguas, you know what I mean? Water on deck, you know what I'm saying? And that's just, it is what it is, you know? And at the end of the day, you know, like I said, Black History Month, we got the Grammys coming up. We got Rihanna about to pop off the Super Bowl. And, you know, Beyonce breaking records, you know what I'm saying? Jay looking like G.O.D. out there. And it was just, you know what I'm saying? It's just the shit. And then speaking of the Super Bowl, you got 2, and I say 2, African American, as they would say, but I would say 2 black quarterbacks, starting quarterbacks, that's leading their franchise to the fucking Super Bowl. And I mean 2 quarterbacks, 2 black quarterbacks that they, and I'll let y'all figure out who the fuck I mean by they, said these 2 quarterbacks and more in the league would not ever work. These 2 quarterbacks are taking them to the Super Bowl, and that's Patrick Mahomes for the Kansas City Chiefs and Jalen Hurts for the Philadelphia Eagles. I want to shout out to them 2 brothers first and foremost. And it's one of the first Super Bowls in a while that feels very neutral. You get what I'm saying? I'm very much a Baltimore Ravens fan, for people who do not know at this point. And if you don't, I don't know what to tell you, because you need to read or write. But as a Ravens fan, this is a very neutral feeling. You know, again, seeing 2 black quarterbacks in competition is already fire in itself. So I'm going for either or. Me personally will come clean, you know what I'm saying? Because as part of me representing the AFC, I'm kind of leaning towards the Chiefs. I don't have a particular reason. I think the reason is just that it's Mahomes, bro. Like, the motherfucking Mahomes is like the only niggas I seen that play that position greater than that man is Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. I never seen nobody else play, and only reason I wouldn't put Vic in there, because Vic didn't have a longevity. You know what I'm saying? But them 2 motherfuckers and Mahomes gotta be 3 right there, bro. So Mahomes, I feel like he'll have enough of that oomph or willpower to get that shit done. Now, to me, the Eagles are definitely the better team. They're the most complete team. Offense and defense, they should actually win. They are the favorites. But I'm going for the Chiefs, man, because, you know what I'm saying, it's fucking Mahomes, man. Like, what the fuck can that nigga do? You know what I mean? But again, that's a Super Bowl for next week. As you're seeing this, the Super Bowl will be on February 12th. It is live at Arizona. You know what I'm saying? And this is not also the Super Bowl, but this is AKA the Savage Fenty halftime show. You know what I'm saying? So I want niggas to get ready because Rihanna ain't fucking playing. Niggas thought that Rihanna ain't coming with shit, or niggas are saying like, what is she gonna perform? Oh, she don't perform the new record. And if she does, what the fuck y'all gonna do? Start protesting? You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? Don't be surprised if she does, because it's her recent record. You know what I'm saying? That's how you set the tone for the audience. That's how you let the audience know that not only did I have hits and that I've been doing this shit, but I'm still doing this shit. And then that's how you set the tone for what's coming next. So she might fuck around, do a tour, and that's just gonna be the kickstart to her music being revived. You know what I'm saying? And that's the Super Bowl for all the non-football cats. Again, keeping it on sports because this has been an eventful weekend, more so on Sunday. We had the Grammys. The Grammys popped off. We went through that, you know what I'm saying? But also besides the Grammys, for my Baltimoreans, for my Ravens flock family, they had the 30 for 30 documentary on the Baltimore Ravens 2000 Super Bowl champion defense. More so the defense, but shout out to the team because they highlighted Trent Dilfer, the Shannon Sharp, shout out to Ump, you know what I'm saying, Ray Lewis, Rod Wilson, Chris McAllister. We had the motherfucking hitters, you know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to Goose, you know what I'm saying? I wish he could have seen that doc because it was fire and it was just amazing looking back on things. And like, shout out to my Giants fans because there's no hate or nothing. But at the end of the day, I did not know that we shut them down that bad that they didn't score not a single touchdown. You know what I'm saying? On offense, at least. So it's just one of those things. And it was a great thing to keep it short for me to relive because I was definitely a young cat looking at the first Super Bowl. I was more hyped with the second one in 2012 when we beat Cap and the 49ers than the first one because I was older by the second point to kind of, grasp what the fuck was going on and really, really wow the fuck out as a older person rather than the first one as a young buck. I was kind of like hype, but just that was that. You know what I'm saying? So definitely shout out to my Ravens, and more importantly, we need to make sure we lock in number 8. You know what I'm saying? Pay that nigga his bread that he earns and deserves, so we can lock the team in. Trade for D-Hop or whatever the fuck. We need any receiver. If we don't get D-Hop, we need to get any fucking body that's not 35 and above. You know what I'm saying? So lock the team in, get the defense ready, and we'll see niggas at the Super Bowl, man, soon. You understand? For the third one. But, we outside, man. This is for the love. And we about there. You know what I'm saying? Like we about there. So we already talked about the Grammys, you know what I'm saying, the Ravens doc, the Super Bowl predictions, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Chiefs, because I got the Chiefs. And shout out to the Eagles too, man, because the Eagles they've been steamrolling all season. So these are the two teams that would and should be there because they are the number one. They've been rolling the season and they got to the top game. And it's just now we see who's going to win that bitch. You know what I'm saying? And the last thing on sports that I would say, well, no, it ain't. I'm bugging because it's still some other shit. You know what I'm saying? You got Tom Brady. He's finally retired. Thank God. This nigga is over. Like, I'm tired of this nigga. Like, the world's done with this nigga. Like, the day after he retired, this nigga's taking thirst trap pictures. So you already know the CTE's probably kicking in. I don't know. I'm assuming. I don't want to put that on him. But regardless, you got that type of shit. And then besides TB12, you know what I'm saying, with that, what was it? Kyrie Irving is a motherfucking maverick. You know what I'm saying? Kyrie Irving is a motherfucking maverick. He's been officially traded to the Dallas Mavericks prior to the deadline after requesting a trade. And of course, Anything that Kyrie does pisses off most of the people, which I find hilarious. But what people got to understand is that you think I'm going to play 40 plus fucking minutes with no KD, no nothing, with no job security, and expect for me to play that shit? No, nigga, you gotta pay me. So if you don't want to pay me, trade me. You know what I'm saying? And why the fuck would I for a fucking owner that literally wanted to make an example out of my ass? So you know what I'm saying? Like, this nigga gave me a list or a pre-set list of things that I gotta do to get back with the team. Nigga, in that moment, I would have been like, suck my dick and trade me. I don't give a fuck if you trade me to motherfucking OKC or whatever. Get me the fuck out of here off principle. You know what I'm saying? And for people that say they feel sorry for KD, I don't know why, because KD left Utopia, and I don't know anybody else in the world who's leaving Steph Curry and the Splash Brothers and that shit, because you won 2 rings, went 3 straight finals. But that wasn't enough because you wanted your own narrative. Now this is the narrative. You know what I'm saying? Like, you went from motherfucking Golden State to eventually a 3-head monster with you, Kyrie, and James Harden. James Harden wanted to get the fuck out of there. I wonder why. And then Kyrie eventually wanted to get out of there. And even KD wanted to get the fuck out of there because he requested for a trade. So it's more so pointing at the management. And then I'm seeing reports where the owner didn't want to trade him to the Lakers because that was his preferred destination. To me, that's super petty. It's also business, because I'm going to trade you, but I'm not going to give you what you want at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, you know, that's the business about it. It's nothing personal. It's just what it is with business. But that's that, you know. And Dallas, to me, lost and got fleeced in the trade because they ultimately traded for a world talent, an all-star, superstar, champion, etc. But he is a very much, in this case, a rental, because I don't see him coming back to Dallas. I don't see him resigning. And at the end of the season, he's going to be a free agent. So once he's a free agent, in my mind, he's going to go to where he wants to go, which is in LA with Bron. We'll get at least 2 years, if not a year of that. They may fuck around and get another ring, and then that's that. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, Kyrie should have been made a mission for him to go to LA, but that's neither here or there. You know what I mean? But that's the plan, and that's what I think is going to happen for next year's season. And this year, he's going to ball out for Dallas because he has no choice. And then once Dallas is done, he's going to LA. You know what I'm saying? So that's the NBA for you, you know. And also, Bron's about to break the record. You know what I'm saying? He about to beat Kareem. That's either by Tuesday or Thursday. Until he's break it, they televising that shit. So that's just going to be amazing to watch that. Shout out to Bron. And you got the GOAT argument, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to put you over Jordan. I'm not going to put Jordan over Bron. I'm just more so saying that the nigga has an argument for the GOAT, man. Because, like, if you pass Kareem and you had all this longevity and shit, how the fuck can you not be in the conversation? I mean, and then the ring shit don't matter because Bill Russell, rest in peace, has 11. So the sit shit, you know what I mean? But enough sports, man, because I know y'all probably thinking like, yo, what the fuck is this nigga talking about? Or like, I'm waiting for this nigga to be done with the sports. You know what I'm saying? This ain't ESPN. You damn right it ain't ESPN. But we love sports. It's called For the Love of Sports. You know what I'm saying? But where are we at? Because we pretty much almost there. We're not there, but we there. And besides what I also wanted to talk about was the TV shows that's been going on. Again, we still celebrating Black History Month, you know what I'm saying? We got the t-shirts, we got the hoodies, you know what I'm saying, represent Black history. It really don't, but it's flowers for my guys, you know what I'm saying, for the love merch. go ahead, cop that shit. You know what I'm saying? Got to put the promo out there at any point. You know what I'm saying? It's a stamp. And being that it's Black History Month, man, it's a lot of Black excellence. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing a lot of moisturized skin. I'm seeing a lot of good TV shows, actually, a lot of Black TV shows. You know, they currently got BMF. That's my shit right now. Lamar is a wild nigga. You know what I'm saying? To dump a shit bag on a motherfucker has to be top 3 worst things that you can even fucking do. I ain't even knew or known that I was one of the worst things you can fucking do until I seen it. Like, I never even thought that a nigga would even process to do some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So Lamar's a wild fucking nigga. And at the end of the day, he killed like a 12-year-old boy in the first season. So nothing surprised me after that. But that shit was crazy. And Meech and T, man, that nigga Meech is relentless, man. So they at the point, spoiler alert, it is what it is, but they at the point now where they went to Atlanta, met Goldie, played by Monique, killed that shit. Monique is a legend, another queen in the game. Glad and respect to 50 for giving her flowers and putting her back into the scene, because Oprah and Tyler Perry, them niggas wanted to play games and act like the shit wasn't what it was, but it actually was that. And 50 being the nigga that put her on the platform is all flowers, you know what I'm saying? BMF is definitely the shit to watch. And take my word, because I don't even watch TV like that, you know what I'm saying? And the other show that I'm waiting on is Snowfall, man, you know what I'm saying? Because when Franklin pull up on late February 25th or February 22nd, one of the dates, that's when Snowfall comes on. It's the last season for Snowfall. I love how they handled the show, especially after John Singleton's passing. Rest in peace. And I feel like 6 seasons is a perfect amount of content to end it on a good note, rather than trying to drag some shit and then that kills the legacy of the show. That, to me, is what Power did. The first 3 seasons of Power was so fucking immaculate that it could have rivaled the Wire and Sopranos and that type of shit. And then once it got past that shit, then that's when they start going left and start doing some unrealistic bullshit, and it kind of killed the dynamic of the whole series. You know what I'm saying? So Snowfall is definitely that shit, and I think Snowfall will go down as one of those top shows all time when it's finished after 6 seasons. And you know what I'm saying? That's just pretty much that. And then it was one other show, I didn't lie, and that was the Power Tariq book 2 that coming out in St. Patrick's Day in March. So I think that's fitting. That's the other show I'm waiting on. And we're gonna see Tariq sell more bricks and sell more drugs in school. And I think to this day, the funniest part about that show is still the fact that this young man, Tariq, did all of this resentment, negativity, hating on, etc. on his pops in the regular Power just to kill his ass and become his fucking father. I still think that hasn't been talked about enough on the show. Of course, I don't think they need to talk about it, but I just think it's telling, because he ended up becoming the motherfucker he don't like the whole fucking time. And he wasn't born in this street shit. He was born off fucking privilege, you know what I'm saying? Being wealthy off the drug game from your pops just to do the same shit your pops did. You know, it's just, it is what it is. Niggas learn the hard way, and sometimes I believe that niggas just gotta figure it out. You know what I'm saying? It's a matter if you can make it out or not. But shout out to motherfucking 50, shout out to BMF, shout out to Snowfall, Power Series, you know what I'm saying? Check them shits out. I'm pretty sure there's hella TV shows. Y'all do me a favor, hit my chat, hit me up on the side, let me know what TV shows I should be watching or that's out there that's popping, because niggas just listening to other things that other niggas talking about. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm doing hella great with the segues, because that leads to me on the next topic, which I want to get into, which is regarding podcasting, which voila, I am a podcaster. But what I really wanted to discuss, because there were other things within the podcast world that I found intriguing, and it was mainly two things. And the first was in relation to Nori and Joe Button on the recent pod, on the Joe Button podcast, where Nori was a guest, and they pretty much started popping off at motherfucking other podcasters and notable podcasters, I would say. They started talking and pretty much talking down on the other pods, saying that it's saturated, niggas just don't know what to do, and they pick up podcasting thinking the shit gonna work, but it flops. You know what I'm saying? Nori speaking out his mouth saying how before him, niggas was giving up their YouTube channels for free, and he was the first or one of the ones that facilitate the three pod deal, you know, et cetera. And then of course Joe co-signing it was just, you know, it was telling, but it was very weirdo behavior to me, because the facts are the facts, and the facts are, at the end of the day, if it wasn't for free tax loan, by the way, there wouldn't be no drink champs. You know what I'm saying? Because before this whole shit popped off back in 2014, 2015, tax season existed, and the podcast game at the time was only audio. So with the podcast game being just audio, then that means you can go to the podcast app or any other app and just listen to the podcast, which at the time, tax season was the one that was setting the tone. And then eventually we saw Drink Champs, and what Drink Champs did was incorporate the video with the audio, like Joe Button's podcast, because Joe Button is a pioneer in this pod shit, but Tax Stone is the pod motherfucking father besides Joe Button. You know what I'm saying? So Nori saying that coming out the mouth like he was one of the origin niggas was very corny to me, because it wasn't a humble approach. It was very egotistical, and it was just very telling, because Nori even had Tax on his pod prior to Tax getting locked up. So I thought that they would have a mutual understanding and love for each other. But after that, it seems to be that Nori really don't give a fuck about Tax. And he even shitting on Combat Jack. Rest in peace to Combat Jack, because I want to point out to the podcast world and to the people that if it wasn't for Combat Jack, it wouldn't be none of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Respectfully. More so with Tax and Nori and all the other pods going forward. Now, I respect to Joe Button, because he was one of the pioneers as well. So I can't say that Joe wasn't a part of this shit. He was definitely one of the first, when it was I named this podcast later. And then it went from that to Rory, and then Rory and Maul, and then what you see now with Queen's Flip and Melissa Ford and Ice and Ish. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Joe. I just thought the approach from Nori and Joe co-signing was corny as shit. And I hope there's no power wars with that, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, there's no need for that, and it should be all love. And of course, that leads to the second piece, which is very more important and very telling and very bozo-ish, etc. Any negative thing you could think of is very that, because this is in regards to Jay Prince and the $1 million worth of game cat. Shout out to Gillian Wallow. Those are other innovators in the pod game. They killing the shit. You know what I'm saying? They got their deal and they knocking the shit out. Now, with that being said, because For the Love is about flowers, as you can see, but we also about the truth, man. We about telling it for what it is. So at the end of the day, to see Jay Prince, one, take the time and go on a public platform and speak and make threats on family shit and shit that has nothing to do with him was very bozo-ish. And what I'm referring to is the threats he sent to Offset in regards to the Takeoff killing. And rest in peace to Takeoff. I thought that was lame, because one, who the fuck is you to talk about another nigga's family dynamic? You don't even know their relationship. And I just thought that was just corny. To me, that even told me to go deeper, that Jay Prince and QC from the label had conversations, and QC being a nigga that was fishing to Jay Prince like, yo, Offset, don't fuck with it. I really think that was the conversation, and then he went on that pod and said that type of shit. Two, I thought it was nasty that they was even speaking on an open case that's currently being investigated. So to summarize that shit, they were pretty much snitching on the fucking podcast. Like, let's keep it a buck. We talk about the 6ix9ine shit. We talk about all this other shit. Jay Prince was ratting on that fucking pod. That man was on public platform speaking on fucking a case that's being investigated. So all this shit can be used in public court, in criminal court. And to me, that's snitching. Because if you fishing and you giving information to motherfuckers to help the case, then you helping. You understand? And the main reason I'm bringing this shit up is because this is supposed to be the infamous Jay Prince from Montage from Rap-A-Lot Records, that was Houston, Texas enforcer, etc. And then my last critique is on Gillian Wallow, because Gillian Wallow has the responsibility, just like Nori went through the responsibility with the Kanye episode and how he stood on it and then got the clap back and then he pulled the episode. Gillian Wallow supports their platform in the positivity light, which I support. They're not about violence. They're not about none of that shit. They're about progression. They're about people getting their bread. They're about $1 million worth of game. So to go from that and to allow this man to get in your platform and to do the exact opposite of what your pod is about, which is sending threats, committing violence, speaking on how you about this, how you that and that, to me was just very bozo shit. I didn't like the pod, and it was just corny, you know what I'm saying? Like, it reminded me of when Mav Hoffa, shout out to My Expert Opinion, because that's another dope pod, but when they had Troy Ave on that shit, it was a nasty episode to me. This man, Troy Ave, the whole 2 hours, close to 3 hours, was damn near speaking on a man that's incarcerated, and you got on stand and testified, so you a rat, but you got on this platform to start speaking like you just thugged out motherfucker that people can't understand you. It was just lame shit. You know what I'm saying? It was very nasty work. And you know, these pods has gotta do better, man, because at the end of the day, y'all, who y'all are, y'all legends. Some of y'all are legends, some of y'all are notable motherfuckers, some of y'all are popular, etc. But to do that shit is nasty. And at the end of the day, For the Love ain't about that. You know what I'm saying? For the Love is about positivity. When you pull up at For the Love, just understand that we about the truth. And we ain't about bullshit. You know what I'm saying, man? So, you know what I'm saying? At this point, we are actually at the conclusion of the pod, you know, before we check out and eat my grapes and get to my water and all that shit, you know what I'm saying? I want to dedicate this not only to the ancestors, because it's Black History Month, and continuing that, I want to dedicate this pod to the Black queen in Illinois that allegedly stole $1.5 million worth of chicken wings from the school district. You understand? Because first and foremost, I want to know what the fuck is $1.5 million worth of chicken in the first place. One, please show me how much chicken is that, because to steal that amount is historic, it is inspiring, and if you ask me, it's nothing more than community service. Because what the fuck you think she about to do with them chicken wings? And I'm gonna just let you think about that. So we dedicate that to that Black queen that's doing shit for the culture, you know what I'm saying? And also, more importantly, like I said, it's Black History Month. We don't need a month, but it's Black History Month. So we're gonna keep celebrating Black excellence, and that's outside and inside of February, and continuing on. Understand, like I said again, we got the merch, For the Love tees. We got the white t-shirt, as you can see, with the rules on the back. We got the black tees. We got other assorted colors of your requests. Just hit me or go to the website, which is Super Clothing, And for the hoodie seasons, because it's still cold as a bitch out there, you know, in Virginia, we get 4 seasons. The hoodies is out. We got all colors, like I said, of your choice. This one in particular is brown, is matching the couch. You know what I'm saying? Because we keep it aesthetic and earth. You know what I mean? But definitely pull up on the website, shout out to Super Clothing, and cop some merch, man. You know what I'm saying? For the love, you know, like you don't have to do it, but you know, do it for the love, man. You know, tell niggas outside, go outside and give the word of mouth so niggas can keep pulling up on this shit, you know? But last but not least, man, again, this your boy Los. I want to thank people for listening to me, you know what I'm saying? You know, please keep checking me out, you know, check out the YouTube channel because we are officially on video. You can see the God in the flesh, you know what I'm saying? This is again for the love. I represent the 757 VA. Shout out to Big K. Shout out to Lady Caution for killing shit on the RBE battle rap circuit. First and foremost, you know what I'm saying? 30 pieces from Big K. And to me, outside the hometown bias, I had Caution winning 2-1. QB is a legend, you know what I'm saying? But Caution is that fucking beast and that girl. And more importantly, look forward to February 25th because she will be in the finals versus C3 on the Remy Martin anniversary Chrome 23 card for the tournament. And of course, it's 757 over nothing. And also, just want to shout out, keeping it local, to Missy Elliott, Mr. Misdemeanor, because Missy was our only misdemeanor. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to her for not also being in the Grammy nominations because she was there as far as the 50th hip hop celebration. I forgot to announce that, but she is actually the first, and I mean the first woman nominee of the Songwriters Award. You get what I'm saying? So respect Missy, respect the 757. And with that being said, this is, you see your boy Los. This is 5-3, and God bless.